Hurricane Dennis, or the effects of Hurricane Dennis, not felt in Charlotte, though they expect maybe some wet stuff a little bit later on. 20 years Don Nehlen has been the head coach at West Virginia. He has gone to 12 bowl games in his 19 previous seasons. Before we start it, let's head to the sidelines. We've got another Big East quarterback, Don McPherson. Don?
Guys, West Virginia lost 12 players during the offseason, including both their offensive and defensive line, the junior tailback, Amos Zaraway, and both leading wide receivers. You think these numbers would be devastating, but this team is ready to go. They're ready to play some football. Coach Don Nehlen says they're the most exciting team he's had because they love to play football and they love to have fun. Should be a good one, guys.
Gino, I really felt that in our meetings yesterday with Don Nehlen. And in talking to this guy, too, Steve Logan, he looks at Don Nehlen's program, and that's exactly where he wants East Carolina's program.
I think so. East Carolina has been able to upset a few teams here and there, but they want to get to that upper echelon where they're going to a bowl game every year, Rich.
Jay Taylor kicks it off for West Virginia. Keith Stokes, 5 yards in, and he'll take a knee. East Carolina out of Conference USA. David Garrard, just a sophomore. When he stepped on the campus, he was 6'3", 260. He is 6'3", 235. And he showed in his final 2 games last year, Gino, that he can be an exciting quarterback.
He can be an exciting quarterback, and he didn't make mistakes. That's the big thing. For them to win, he can't make mistakes today.
Tennessee wanted him as a tight end, but he wanted to play quarterback. And he gets the start here. Garrard to the air, deflected, and incomplete. 2nd down and 10. Time now for our Dell lineups. We look at East Carolina. Jamie Wilson, the returning rusher, and a good one. Last year averaging 60 yards per game. It's a West Coast look, so you'll see 3, sometimes 4 receivers. Lamont Chappell, the senior last year, 36 catches and 6 touchdowns. The question marks up front. Lacewell and Jones are the only returners for East Carolina on their offensive line. Here's that option look, and here's Garrard out to the 25-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and 5. West Virginia's defense decimated by graduation in the NFL. None of these guys have a start, a career start. They lost greatness up front with John Thornton and Kevin Landau to the NFL. Linebackers, one guy you really want to watch is Barrett Green. All Big East pick. Don Nehlen said he's the best he's ever had at a linebacker spot. And Nate Terry comes back after an injury last year. An all Big East pick in '97. 3rd down, 5. Garrard on a draw. West Virginia, a nice series to open defensively.
Very good series defensively, Rich, because I tell you what, East Carolina is doing exactly what Coach Martin told us. They were going to do a lot of shifting and trying to get West Virginia off balance. They tried it. They didn't get it. So now what do they do the next series? We'll have to see.
Greg Robinette, the nose tackle, made the stop. Andrew Bays to punt it away for East Carolina. Nate Terry is deep. He took a kickoff back for a score against East Carolina 2 years ago. And Terry knocked down hard at the 41-yard line. Everyone last year talked about Amos Zaraway in West Virginia, but it really was Mark Bulger's year. 65% of his passes last year. He's at 61% in his career. Gino Toretta, what doesn't this quarterback do well?
I tell you what, it seems to me he does everything well. He gets rid of the ball quick. He can move around, and he leads his team. The only question mark today, can the offensive line give him enough time to get rid of the football?
Bulger has changed his number. Last year, in fact, and throughout his career, he was number 10. His father wore number 4. As a backup quarterback at Notre Dame, Bulger has changed for his senior year. Avon Coburn to the 45-yard line. A 5-yard pickup. Ardell starting lineups for the Mountaineers of West Virginia. Last year at 8-4. Coburn fills the big shoes of Amos Zaraway, though he'll get help from Cooper Rigo. The wide receivers, the top two in school history, Sean Foreman and David Saunders, are gone, but Corey Ivy is still a guy to look for. John Conte, the man to look for in the middle. There are no returning starters on this West Virginia offensive line on 2nd and 5. Bolger gives it to Coburn, and he's out to the 47-yard line. Tim Rose is the brand new coordinator for this East Carolina defense. He's got some talent up front. Norris McCleary had 5.5 sacks last year, 32 as a team for East Carolina. The linebacking quartet, they've gone to a 3-4 look. Jeff Carr, that's how you pronounce it, a first-team Conference USA pick. The secondary is very good on the corners with Monroe and Foster, but Travis Mazik is a converted wide receiver. Chris Satterfield is untested. The safeties are where Mark Bolger will attack today. Swing pass. It's caught by Antonio Brown, and he's short of the first down.
I'll tell you what, Rich, that's a pretty good series by the East Carolina defense. They were able to stop Bolger there. They threw a little quick pass, try to get the ball in the receiver's hands as quick as possible and get the first down, and they stopped him. So maybe a little nervous tension here the first couple series.
Both sets of coordinators were rather puzzled as to what they would see today. Mark Fazzolari, a freshman punter. Marcellus Harris. A good bounce for West Virginia. And it's out of bounds at the 6-yard line. 45 yards for the freshman in his first collegiate punt. We're underway and scoreless in Charlotte.
New fancy stadium, same old uniforms. Browns are back.
ESPN2's presentation of the AXA East-West Showdown is presented by AXA Advisors, building futures, and in part by Toyota. Every day belongs to you. Make it count.
Just a gorgeous day here in Charlotte. 85 degrees. Humidity at about 55%. The wind has started to pick up. Now, Hurricane Dennis is off the coast of North Carolina, but they feel later on tonight there may be some wet stuff in store. Second drive for East Carolina. Chappell in motion. Jamie Wilson. Gain of 4. 2nd and 6. Wilson, a guy that comes back from last year along with Leonard Henry. East Carolina feels they can run the football against West Virginia.
I tell you what, they're going to need to. Both these teams, to have a successful offense, they're going to have to run the football to take some pressure off the quarterbacks.
On 2nd and 7. Garrard, this time it's complete. Rashawn Burns makes the catch. And we go to the studios with Reese Davis.
And Rich, we have another Sean getting busy in Nashville. Alabama down 3 to Vanderbilt in the 4th quarter. You go to Sean Alexander behind your best tackle, Chris Samuels. It resulted in an Alabama touchdown. Alexander's second of the day, tied on top, 21-17. But a great game going on over on ESPN. Baylor and Boston College headed to overtime. Opening day, we've got free football, Rich.
Third down and short for East Carolina. Garrard has the first down. Out to the 30-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup.
Rich, I tell you what, Dunlap, the defensive coordinator for for West Virginia, exactly why he was concerned with this offense. They throw the ball, they run the option here. Just a mix-up on who has the quarterback and who has the fullback on the pitch, and Garrard's able to pick up a lot of yards and get them out of the backed up in their own territory.
A 2 tight end set. Long count, and it's Wilson who breaks loose. Jamie Wilson to the 42-yard line of West Virginia. Nate Terry made the stop. 27 yards on the carry.
I tell you what, Rich, West Virginia lost their whole defensive line, and here's where we're going to see it's a problem. Look at the hole right there. I think I might be able to pick up a few yards running through there.
Two big plays. And East Carolina's on the move. Garrard. Wilson again with help. He's to the 20. To the 14-yard line. Barrett Green made the stop. Another 28-yard pickup. In 3 plays, East Carolina has moved the football almost 70 yards.
I tell you what, Rich, I really like the play calling. You go from an option 1 play to a run play. They're owning the line of scrimmage. East Carolina is on the offensive side of the football. Then throw a little screen in there, and they pick up 20 yards there.
Mark Thurston, sophomore linebacker, is down right now. The playing surface here is immaculate. Thurston being tended to right now.
Here we see Garrard just baiting the defensive lineman to come at him on the screen pass and dumping the ball off. Good block there on the outside. See him pick up a lot of yards. Those are the kind of completions you want as a quarterback. You don't have to throw the ball a long way, and you still pick up 20 yards in your stats.
Last year, West Virginia had an early injury to a linebacker, Gary Stills. Stills now with the Kansas City Chiefs, one of the many Mountaineers that went on to the NFL this year. They lost a lot on that defense. John Thornton, Kevin Lando, Stills, and Fisher, Charles Fisher, the corner. Here's a look at Mark Thurston. Sophomore out of Miami. Traditionally, Gino, Don Nehlen has done a great job of recruiting in Florida.
I tell you what, when Miami joined the Big East Conference, it was huge for West Virginia because they got a chance to come down every other year and play the Hurricanes in the Orange Bowl. Because of that, they're able to recruit down in the South Florida area, and that to me is where the best athletes in high school football are in the South Florida area.
Thurston still down. Steve Logan counseling his quarterback. When David Garrard was a junior, he's from the Durham area. He went to a football camp at East Carolina. He stepped on the campus as a high school junior at 6'3", 275. Steve Logan said, all right, you go over with the lineman. He said, no, sir, I'm a quarterback. He said, no, you're not. Go with the lineman. No, sir, I'm a quarterback. He wouldn't move. Gave him a football and said, prove it. And I think he threw it 65, 70 yards and said, you're a quarterback, son.
I tell you what, that's a great story. He's worked his tail off to lose the weight and to be able to be a little bit more mobile in the pocket, be able to run the option for Logan. You know, just a great story when you see a kid have that kind of determination and have the talent to throw the football like he does.
Don Nehlen hoping his defense can play a little bit better here early on. East Carolina on the move. Wilson lost the ball. Mountaineers have it. Barrett Green in on the hit.
Tell you what, Rich, that's just a fumbled exchange there between the center and the running back. Here you see Green just shoot the gap, hit the running back, makes a big play. These coaches love Barrett Green. Say he's a first-round pick next year. He runs a 4.45, flies around and hits everybody on the field.
Ryan Brady, the senior defensive end, on the recovery. Mark Bolger, he'll put it up. Finds his man. It's Pat Green across the 20, 23-yard line. First down, West Virginia. Mark Bulger might not have David Saunders and Sean Foreman. They caught 140 balls between them last year. But Pat Green and Corey Ivy have been around, and those will be the featured receivers in this offense.
I tell you what, they're both good players, but the reason you like Bulger is he drops back, looks to the right side of the field, gains his composure, works his feet to the left side, makes a nice throw to Green on the left sideline.
13 yards on that pickup. Coburn to the 26, gain of 2. Bayo Amadou made the stop for East Carolina. Pirates have gone from a 4-3 to a 3-4. Why?
Well, they want to put a lot more pressure on the quarterback. They started the season 4-1 last year and ended at 2-4, and they felt the defense really let them down.
Second down and 8. Coburn with a nifty move, but he runs right into John Williamson, who makes the stop for East Carolina. No score here. Let's head to the studios. Reese Davis. Reese.
Rich, Virginia, North Carolina tied at 17. George Welsh didn't make a decision on his kicker until the final days of camp. Todd Braverman from 50. Oh, it's all about good coaching. Todd Braverman coming up with a game-winning field goal as Virginia beats North Carolina 20-17. And Alabama's now pulled out from Vanderbilt a bit. Sean Alexander, his 3rd touchdown of the day on a 51-yard pass from Andrew Zach.
Thanks, Reese. Mark Bulger in West Virginia. Faced with a 3rd down and 6. Over the middle. Sliding catch by Antonio Brown. First down, Mountaineers. 8 yards on the pickup.
I tell you what, Rich, the coaches, Coach Nealon, he loves Bulger because of his accuracy. And here you see him just threads a needle between 2 linebackers and a safety and hits Antonio Brown, who could be one of the most exciting players today.
He's Don Nealon's speed guy. He'll stretch it. Green and Ivy are the guys that will probably get most of the balls thrown their direction. Brown in motion. Bulger. A little dump. Anthony Becht. Flag is down. Becht is not. He's not an easy guy to bring down. The flag is back at the 35, a 31-yard gain.
Rich, I think you have to look at the Big East Conference as having the 2 premier tight ends in the country. You have Bubba Franks down at the University of Miami and Anthony Becht here at West Virginia. He shows why he's so dangerous. He can run with the football after he catches it. He's 6'6", 260 pounds.
The penalty comes back. Tim Rose, the defensive coordinator, who has 18 years of coaching experience. He was a head coach at Miami of Ohio. In fact, Rose is very close friends with Dan Simrell, the offensive coordinator at West Virginia. So they know each other in more ways than one. They know their schemes, and they're good friends. Illegal shift is the call on West Virginia. This is a Conference USA officiating crew. Shotgun for Bulger. Brown to the 35-yard line. Don Nealon said they'd like to get Brown 10 touches in this football game.
Rich, and the reason why Antonio Brown runs a 4.1840. That speed is unbelievable. That's world-class sprinter speed. They want to get him the ball at least 10 times a football game. I don't know, with all the talent out there, if they got enough balls to go around with all the talent on offense.
3 catches already for Brown. On 2nd and 10. Brown again. Forrest Foster makes the stop, but not before Brown picks up 8 yards. 3rd down and a long 2. 23 catches last year. Just the 1 touchdown. Last year, West Virginia averaged 308 yards a game through the air. I think all the press and the hype around Amos Zaraway sort of deflected the attention from Bulger in the passing attack.
Well, that's what a good running game will do for your passing attack.
Bulger doesn't like what he sees, and the senior quarterback out of Pittsburgh calls a timeout. No score in Charlotte. We're back after this. Back in Charlotte, no score. East Carolina, West Virginia. Let's go to the sidelines. Don McPherson. Donnie?
Guys, the early word on Mark Thurston is a bruised knee, and he should return. He should be back in the next series.
Good news for Steve Dunlap's defense for West Virginia. If you've just joined us, East Carolina had a brilliant drive on their second possession, ended a fumble inside the West Virginia 15-yard line. Mark Bulger and the Mountaineers have driven out to their 43 now. On 3rd down and 3. A sliding catch by Brown. He is short of the first down by a yard. That's 4 catches. And Antonio Brown certainly is the featured receiver so far.
He's a heck of a talent. Anytime you can get a guy with that much speed on the football, you want his hands touching the ball as many times a game. Bad thing there, Bulger just threw it a tad behind him. He had to go back for it, slid down, lost his footing, didn't get the first down.
Mark Fazzolari, the freshman punter. There's a look at Marcellus Harris. Fazzolari had a great effort his first time out. Harris with the fair catch inside the 10. They'll mark it at the 9. That's right around where East Carolina started their last drive. They'll start this one when we get back. No score in Charlotte, North Carolina, which everyone knows is the heart of NASCAR country. And tomorrow on ESPN, points leader Dale Jarrett tries to tame Darlington, the Pepsi Southern 500. Jeff Gordon will be right behind them. Coverage starts at 1 Eastern from Darlington, South Carolina, about 90 miles from here. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network. Go.com. A lot of fans are doing the doubleheader this weekend. They're doing the Pepsi 500 tomorrow. They're watching this college football game, the opener for both East Carolina and West Virginia. East Carolina's yardage came on that last drive, in which they marched the ball 73 yards, but then fumbled. Wilson, who was the fumbler, gets right back on the horse and holds on this time. It'll be 2nd down and about 10.
Rich, you hate to see a drive like the last one. For them to be as successful, go 80 yards, they turn the football over like that. That kills a football team because now they have no momentum. They have no points to show for that drive. You know, they got to get some points when they get 80 yards on a drive like that.
And they have no field position. A lot of movement, and I think too much. Gerard calls a timeout. Gino, tell me about this offense, because when they throw the football, it's sort of a West Coast look. But when they run the football, it's sort of the option look. It is an extremely difficult, I would expect, offense to prepare for.
I think it's extremely difficult as a defensive coordinator, but I got to guess it's even more difficult to teach your kids. How do you teach your quarterback to be like Joe Montana one play and Jamel Holloway the next?
When Steve Logan employed this offense, it was no coincidence, because as a young coach coming up, he studied Bill Walsh. He studied Lindy Infante. Now, you've had a chance to run that offense. Give me an average play. Give me a play from that playbook.
I tell you what, they're very wordy. I remember just a formation from Indianapolis, Lindy Infante's offense. It was two hum hip, and then the play started. And then you had to tell everybody what to do. And then 49ers same way. It was like red right, two jet, flanker drive, halfback corner.
And so what Logan has done is he has affixed just singular names to those lengthy plays. A play like that would be called bingo, he said. That's his effort to try and simplify things.
They didn't get the formation down. That's what they need to worry about first.
No bingo on that one. Wilson breaks loose again. Jamie Wilson to the 44-yard line. 45 yards. Wilson has ripped off 3 long runs in this ball game. And the Pirates are right back in Mountaineer territory.
I tell you, Rich, we take a look at this replay, you'll see a great counter block. You'll see the guard and the tight end Burns come through, and then Henry make a move, and he's off to the races. The thing East Carolina is doing is they're owning the line of scrimmage, and that will win you football games, no matter who you're playing.
The focus all week has been on Garrard. The star so far has been Jamie Wilson. Garrard, gorgeous pass. First down, East Carolina. Corey Floyd the catch. And the Pirates are on the move, as are we, to Reese Davis.
Rich, we told you BC and Baylor went to overtime. This will be Cedric Washington punching it in for his 3rd touchdown of the day to put the Eagles on top 30-23. Now Baylor answered with a touchdown, and Kyle Atterbury shanked the extra point. Kevin Steele's debut is ruined as Boston College survives 30-29.
Scoreless, but East Carolina's moving again. Inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line, down to the sidelines, Don McPherson.
Guys, what East Carolina is doing is running the option and running some ISO. What they're doing is stalemating the defense of West Virginia. That's opening up those huge holes for the tight end. But Jamie Wilson's run was all Jamie Wilson. Watch it again. This guy's making some fabulous moves out there.
Don, you ran some of the option look when you were in college at Syracuse. For Garrard, this is an interesting mix, West Coast and option, isn't it?
It certainly is. I think what he's done in a very quick fashion has really gotten the respect of West Virginia's defensive line.
Well, he spins away there. Flag is down. It'll be a face mask. And Garrard shows you just how strong he is, Gino. At 6'3", 235, he's not an easy man to bring down.
I tell you what, Coach Dunlap from West Virginia, the defensive coordinator, showed his hand. If they're going to start driving the football, I think he's going to start bringing the blitz more and see if he can stop him. Right there, Garrard's so dangerous. The linebacker comes free, got a clean shot at him, and still can't bring him down.
John Nealon in his 20th season said that this year was all about having fun. He felt last year's team underachieved and didn't have a whole lot of fun. This year's bunch not in the top 25. Last year they were ranked 11th to start the season. But he feels, I think, better about this year's team than he did last year's bunch, even though they went 8-4 and went to a bowl game. Another fumble, still loose. East Carolina gets it back. Jamie Wilson, who lost the first fumble, recovers this one.
Rich, that's so difficult. When you get inside the 20-yard line, you have to protect the football and treat it like gold. You never want to give it up. They did it the last series, and right here, it's just a bad exchange between the center and quarterback. You never know right there. It could be the quarterback. It could be the center trying to dive and take out the legs of Greg Robinette and not getting the ball back to the quarterback.
Kevin Freeman with the stop. 3rd down. Garrard is stopped at the 20. Kyle Caden, the sophomore, out of Fremont, Ohio, made the stop. One of 3 returning starters amongst the 4 linebackers. Caden saw a lot of time as a freshman last year.
You have to be impressed by West Virginia's defense to bend twice in a row and still stop them. Haven't given up any points at all. You never know, too, with West Virginia's special teams, they could end up blocking this kick here.
Kevin Miller is a freshman. This is his first field goal attempt in his college career from 37 yards. And a guy who was recruited as a golfer to East Carolina is right down the middle. And for another long drive, East Carolina finally has some points. 3-0 East Carolina on top. Down to the sidelines, Don McPherson. Don?
You just saw that place kick by Kevin Miller. This guy is expected to be the number 5 guy on the golf team for East Carolina. 2 weeks ago, he shot a 1 under par 71 on the Lee Trevino designed Ironwood course in Greenville. This guy can do more than kick field goals. He's got a pretty good 9-iron.
Another look. He's caused an awful lot of anxiety, though, with his head coach, Don Nehlen. Every night after practice, Nehlen comes home and his wife says, well, how'd he do? And he knows exactly who he's talking about, Kevin Miller.
Yeah, Logan
no, excuse me, Steve Logan.
Logan was very worried about the kicking situation coming into this season. Hopefully Miller can come through, and they lost some ball games last year, some tight ones, because of the kicking game.
And every day, Logan tells his wife, so far, so good.
Well, so far, so good. They got a feather in their cap. They got something to show for that 80-yard drive there.
Kick it off. Nate Terry in his end zone. Down to a knee. West Virginia out to the 20. Starting Tuesday, early evening Sports Center at a new time, 6 Eastern. All the latest sports news, information, and highlights 30 minutes earlier. Set your watches, adjust your day timers. The Sports Center weekdays, 6. Beginning this Tuesday. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network. Erickson Stadium in Charlotte. The Panthers played here on Thursday night. It's the Mountaineers and the Pirates today. Mark Bulger to Avon Coburn. Pickup of 10. It's a first down. Mark Yellick made the stop for East Carolina.
Rich, I think that last play, what it shows is Simrell, the offensive coordinator for West Virginia, when he wants to run the football and establish the line of scrimmage, he has to bring 2 tight ends. That's going to limit their offense. They can only run the formation, run the ball out of that formation.
West Virginia going without a huddle right now. Bulger calling the plays at the line of scrimmage, and a blitz is on the way. Great call. Coburn. He's to the 43-yard line. A flag is down at the 37. Flabina Green made the stop.
Tell you what, West Virginia seems to be just shooting themselves in the foot. Every big play, they get a penalty called back. You can't do that and win big-time football games.
Holding for the offense. 10 yards penalty. It's bottom of the foul. Repeat, first down.
Don Nehlen watching the clock. And again, his West Virginia team without a huddle, calling the plays at the line of scrimmage.
I think he's pretty disappointed there because the holding was on one of the receivers and not one of the offensive linemen picking up the blitz.
Time has run out of the first quarter of the AXA East-West showdown. And so far, it's East over West. East Carolina 3-0. AXA East-West showdown. Charlotte, North Carolina. East Carolina treating this as a home game, a 3-0 lead over West Virginia. That young offensive young offensive line in terms of experience. It's filled with juniors and one senior. They do not have a college start coming into this ball game. And the catch by Anthony Betts, a very talented tight end who had a long gain wiped out on a penalty. That'll be short of the first down. Big numbers offensively for East Carolina.
They ran the ball very well, and they owned the line of scrimmage. They established the line of scrimmage, and that could be because of the inexperience of West Virginia's defensive line, all new starters.
Bulger, quick throw, Becht with a catch, out to midfield, first down. He caught 29 balls last year, and I think Anthony Becht is going to surpass that in the first 4 or 5 weeks of this season.
Rich, watch Bulger just hold his ground, step up in the pocket, deliver a strike, and get drilled right after the play. That's why NFL scouts love this kid, and that's why his coaches, Coach Nealon, think he's the best that's ever played at West Virginia.
East Carolina's fortunate they didn't draw a flag on that.
Could be. Could have been close to a late hit.
Bulger perfect on the day, 7 of 7, 52 yards. That, though, his longest completion. He's thrown a lot of passes like that. Brown with his 5th catch is out of bounds. Short of the first down. They'll mark it at the 46. It is hard for me to believe that when Mark Bulger stepped on the West Virginia campus, and he told us this yesterday, he never thought he would start a football game. He was just happy to get a scholarship.
Well, he only started 1 year as a senior in high school, and he really wasn't that big. He wasn't big enough to play Division I college football. But he had all the physical ability and the skills, and thank God Coach Nealon believed in him. That's why he's playing today.
And Nealon admitted that had a couple of other quarterback recruits dropped out at the last minute, he would not have had that scholarship for Bulger. Avon Coburn with the carry. Cornell Griffin made the stop for East Carolina.
Rich, you have to like how West Virginia is starting to come back. They've given up a couple long drives and only 3 points. Now their offense is starting to establish the line of scrimmage, a little mixing up runs in the pass as well. And Bulger, I mean, he's perfect on the day.
8 of 8 now. Bulger again to the air. Brown, he made the catch. First down, West Virginia. 24 yards. Bulger is now 9 of 9.
All you can say is wow there. You see Bulger make the play fake and throw a strike. And look who the safety is, Mazik. They're coming over to try to get to Brown, and he can't get there. Rich, he was a wide receiver last year. I look for them the rest of the game to start trying to pick on Mazik the rest of the game. Brown, that's what I told you all week. I mean, 6 catches already for 48 yards.
Bulger 83 yards on 9 of 9 passing. Coburn is wrapped up and dropped. Devon Claybrooks, Bayo Amadou there as well. The junior out of Washington, D.C. Roderick Coleman was the leader of the defensive line last year. They hope that Amadou can step up along with Claybrooks and give Norris McCleary help. They are the 3 in the 3-4 defense that Tim Rose has brought with him to Greenville. Bulger caught. Corey Ivy the catch. It'll be a gain of about 7. Cornell Griffin with a hit.
Rich, we finally see Bulger going to his go-to guy. We expected a lot more out of Corey Ivy early in the game, but he's only had 1 catch thus far. Tell you what, Bulger is just throwing strikes out there today. He's not missing today.
Don Nehlen calls him the most accurate quarterback he has ever been around. To the end zone. Flag down. Becht was held on what looked like another perfect pass.
I tell you what, a great look by Bulger there. East Carolina, if you can see, they're coming up in a blitz. It's a one-on-one situation between Becht and their safety. Becht being 6'6", 265. Their safety can't be much bigger than 5'10", 5'11". You know, I'd go to him every time too.
This call goes Don Nehlen's way. Pass interference, a 15-yard penalty, brings it to the 2.
Let's take a look right here. They're down to the blitz. Here's the safety one-on-one with Becht. Bulger sees it. Looks him. Becht can move at 6'6", 260. You don't find many guys that can run a 4'6" like him.
Bulger waits, throws, touchdown. Anthony Green, the fullback.
That was one impressive drive by Mark Bulger. He rolls out, finds time, looks like he's going to run the football, sees Green come up late, and just delivers a strike right there for 6 points.
Jay Taylor. Mark Bulger last year completed 65% of his passes. He said yesterday he's shooting for 70%. Today he is 11 of 11. And this gets wet.
ESPN2's presentation of the AXA East-West Showdown is brought to you by Original Coors. Expect more from an original. Original Coors. And by Lee Dungarees. Can't bust them.
Welcome back to Charlotte. West Virginia has put it in the end zone. Rich Waltz, Gino Torretta, John McPherson. Scoring drive, impressive.
Unbelievable. 10 plays, 80 yards. Bulger starts the game. 11 of 11. He was 6 for 6 on that drive for 60 yards. You know, these coaches told us how accurate he was, and you really kind of wonder when you're listening. They keep telling you and telling you. But this kid, to start off the game 11 of 11, is unbelievable.
Steve Logan had a lot of praise for his opponent, Mark Bulger. Jay Taylor will kick it off. Taylor, a 4-year starter. Chappell stumbles, and he's down at the 21-yard line. This is a gorgeous facility, one of the top spots in the NFL. This stadium is the model for a lot of NFL teams that are building stadiums. But, you know, we saw the weight rooms and the locker rooms yesterday.
State of the art. They spared no expense building this building. And I tell you what, it is just an awesome sight to see, even from the outside and the inside.
Both of these schools are treating this game very much like a bowl game. A lot of folks have made the trip from Morgantown and from Greenville. This is Leonard Henry across the 40 out to the 42-yard line. Every week we're going backstage with Donnie Max. Backstage pass. Mr. Don McPherson, where are you in this building, Donnie?
Gino, you mentioned this place being a state-of-the-art facility. When Erickson Stadium was built in 1996, one of the goals was to give you everything at home, or everything at the stadium that you have at home. And one of those things is this scoreboard control room. Kyle Ritchie and his 30-person staff man this room that gives the stadium video screens and message boards, in-house TVs, some 600 in-house TVs, and the PA and music sound system. This place has everything except coolers by the chair.
Richard Alston in at quarterback, and Alston scrambles. And this is the kid that Steve Logan told us about. He said, I really like David Garrard. I think he's going to be a great football player. But Richard Alston is a guy you're going to see on a series, and make sure you watch him.
Logan has told us all week about him, and I think he showed here on this replay exactly why he's so good. Look at that, just being able to bide some time, not throwing the ball away.
That from the scoreboard here at Erickson Stadium. They have everything you would want. 9-yard pickup from Alston. Second down. And Alston to the 47-yard line. Redshirt freshman Alston is out of Warrenton, North Carolina. Last year's starting quarterback was Bobby Weaver. He split time with Garrard, hurt his knee. He's a wide receiver, not necessarily because of Garrard, but I think because of Alston.
I think so too. I think Coach Logan's in love with this kid Alston. I think he's a great athlete, but he says he's got a shotgun for an arm, but shotguns for an arm, you really don't know where they're going. They could be going high, low, wide, all over the place. I think he's got to be a little bit more accurate.
Garrard on the sideline. He and Alston are very close friends. There is no quarterback controversy in Greenville. It was predetermined that Alston would get a series, and they'll try to do that throughout the season. Leonard Henry is wrapped up at the 48-yard line. Barrett Green, along with Nate Terry, in on the stop.
Rich, you talk about no quarterback controversy. I don't know about that. I think Garrard's played well enough where he should be the starter the whole game. I don't know if I agree with this playing the backup in the middle of the second quarter.
Logan told us that if you run the West Coast and this option look that they do, the quarterback is going to take a lot of hits. And he feels that he wants two quarterbacks at his disposal. And the only way he feels he'll get Alston ready is by throwing him into the fire. More college football tonight on ESPN2. Wyoming in Knoxville to take on number 3 Tennessee, and then Lou Holtz in South Carolina against North Carolina State. That's on ESPN at 7:30 Eastern. That's tonight. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network. Go.com. Third down, 9. Alston. Here's the shotgun. Bang. Caught. My goodness. Arnie Powell survived that strike from Richard Alston.
Tell you what, before Logan's career is over, he may put a few holes in some people's chests with a rocket arm like that. Here you see him step up into the pocket. Nice little crossing route by Powell. He drills it in there. See, that's not really an accurate throw, though, Rich. It's low, and Powell makes a great play on it.
His first career pass is complete. And the redshirt freshman has him on the move. Alston again on the mark. A tumbling catch by Jamie Wilson.
Logan told us earlier in the week they were going to script all these plays. So every one of these plays is scripted depending on down and distance and situation. So Alston, he knows before the game exactly what plays he's running, feels comfortable with them, and he's showing us why they've scripted these plays.
His first series as a collegiate quarterback. Here comes the blitz. And it's incomplete. Do you remember your first series? Alston goes down. Crowd wanted a flag. They won't get it. How about your first series?
Rich, to tell you the truth, my first series, unfortunately, was an injury to Craig Erickson as a redshirt freshman, and he broke his hand, so I didn't really get a chance to script my first series. But I remember my first series, I threw an interception.
Barrett Green on the blitz. I think Alston may have done a little acting. I don't think Barrett Green is that strong.
I just think that's a little momentum. I don't think that's a good no call by the official.
3rd down 1. Uh-oh.
Wow.
That play is blown up by Jerry Porter. Marcellus Harris on a reverse.
Here you see him line up. Porter will come over here from the left side of the field and just run down Marcellus Harris. That's a great play by the defender right there.
Kevin Miller, who hit earlier from 37 yards, 42 yards. He's in the fairway again.
Right down the middle. Nice little draw.
42 yards. West Virginia up by a point. NCAA record. 7-6 West Virginia on top of East Carolina. 6:46 left, second quarter. We talked about Gino Toretta's first series. How about Don McPherson's first series as a quarterback?
Hey, listen, I know exactly what Richard Alston is going through. My first start was against West Virginia, and I saw the same thing he saw, all 11 men at the line of scrimmage. That's what they're going to do with a young quarterback. This is an aggressive defense.
So wait a minute, how did the first series go, though? Did you put it in the end zone?
Let's hear the results, Donnie Mac.
You know, I tried to leave that part out. I mean, it was my first start and my last for that season.
I told you I threw an interception in the first series.
I just got beat up a whole bunch.
Kevin Miller to kick it off. Lewis Daniels and Nate Terry deep. Terry from the 8. Out to the 30. Good field position for West Virginia. And now we revisit Mark Bolger, a guy that has come out and gone 11 of 11. He is one short of a West Virginia school record for consecutive completions.
It's been very impressive. He has rolled out. He's moved his feet well. He's broke contain, got out of the pocket. He stood in the pocket, accepted pressure, still delivered strikes. This kid has shown he can throw the ball any way you want.
Oliver Luck and Chad Johnston share the record for West Virginia. Cooper Rigo is checked in the ball game, and he checks out at the 29-yard line. Quabina Green made the stop. There's a flag down.
Tell you what, Rich, one thing about 11 consecutive completions by Bolger, we keep talking about it. If you asked him what their stats are, he would have no idea right now. Once you get in that zone, you're just going with the flow of the game and not really paying attention.
For a guy that never thought he would start a game in college, who was turned into a 3-year performer for Don Nehlen, he is a very quiet but confident kid. He's not outspoken, but he's very confident in his abilities, not only as a quarterback, but also as a leader.
And I think that's the reason the rest of the football team believes in him. And I think anytime you have a guy that has 24 starts, I mean, in college football, you may get 12 to 15 starts by the end of your career. He has 24 going into his senior season.
On the offense, 10-yard penalty, previous spot enforcement, repeat, first down.
Same high school as Dan Marino. Central Catholic in Pittsburgh.
Not too bad a lineage there. He can follow in Danny's footsteps in the NFL.
Bolger, a quick throw. Corey Ivy makes the catch. That's 12 consecutive completions. It ties a West Virginia record. Forrest Foster made the stop.
Let's take a look at this ball. I mean, Bulger makes a play action fake to the left. This is so difficult to get your feet around and set it and throw a strike. He throws it where only he can throw that ball, and Ivy makes a good catch with 37 coming up and making a good play. Foster.
If you're thinking about the NCAA record, in a ball game, it's 23 by T. Martin of Tennessee. There's number 13, and that's a West Virginia record. 13 consecutive completions for Bulger to start the ball game. Carlos Osageda made the catch for the Mountaineers.
Rich, I tell you what, when we were talking with Simro, made a point to ask him, do you use Bulger as a crutch in your play calling and start throwing the ball every down? They're throwing the ball an awful lot right here.
103 yards through the air on the 13 consecutive completions. This, however, is a third down. Bulger's in trouble, and he's dropped. Bayo Amadou. And on 4th and 21, freshman punter Mark Fazzolari will send it all the way back to the 25-yard line. Stokes out to the 39-yard line. 56 yards for the young freshman. A 1-point West Virginia lead. Pretty good football game here in Charlotte. West Virginia 7-6 on top. David Garrard is back in, so Richard Alston gets his allotted 1 series, plays well. Garrard, who has looked good, is right back in and going deep with a man open. Lamont Chappell just couldn't get there. Nate Terry on the coverage.
I'll tell you what, Rich, that may be because of the wind out here at Erickson Field. You see Garrard make a nice counter fake, brings the corner down. His slot receiver beats wide out one-on-one. He just lays it out there, lays it a little too far, and the wind may have been a factor, may have brought that over too much for the guy to make a play on it.
Keith Stokes in motion. Jamie Wilson, the ball carrier. Mark Thurston made the stop. Wilson had a brilliant start to this game. He had 80 yards on his first 5 carries.
West Virginia.
82 yards now. The Pirates had 2 long drives that resulted in only 3 points. They lost a fumble inside the West Virginia 15. On 3rd down, Garrard, it's broken up and incomplete. Nate Terry, who last year dislocated his clavicle against Maryland, an extremely painful injury that kept him out the entire season. They're very happy to have him back.
Not only as a corner, one of their best corners, but as a special teams return guy. I think he brings more to this team as a special teams guy in a punt block and return than he does as a cornerback.
Andrew Bays will be kicking to Nate Terry. And here come the Mountaineers. They got close. Good punt by Bays. Terry will decoy, and the football will end up in the end zone. A touchback. That's a 58-yard kick. West Virginia up by a point. David Garrard and the Pirates down by a point. 7-6, 4 minutes left in this first half in Charlotte. Tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern, the PGA Tour makes its stop in British Columbia. PGA Air Canada. Brandel Chambly defends his title. Up in Vancouver, one of the more gorgeous cities in North America. If you've ever been to Vancouver, British Columbia, For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. Mark Bulger and the Mountaineers. Steve Logan's Pirates have played well in this first half. Bulger to the air again. 13 straight. Catches made out of bounds. It's his first incompletion. It would figure that his first incompletion would still be caught and would still be accurate.
Tell you what, Green runs a little hitch and go. The bad thing here, he gives Bulger nowhere to throw the football. Bulger throws it right on target, but Green's already out of bounds by the time the ball gets there. There, as he catches the ball, he's already out of bounds. That's poor route running there. That's not Bulger's fault at all.
Spoken like a true quarterback.
It's always the receiver's fault, Rich. Come on.
Second down and 10. Here comes the blitz. Bulger over the middle. Ivy makes the catch. First down, West Virginia. Bulger threw another beauty.
I'll tell you what, Rich. And who was it on? The free safety, Mazik, the wide receiver from last season. When they're coming down in a blitz, puts Mazik one-on-one situations, and Bulger's taking advantage of it. Here you see Ivy. No one's challenging him off the ball, and Bulger throws a strike here before Mazik can even get over and make a play on him.
East Carolina's secondary is strong on the corners with Foster and Monroe. They're returners, and they're good ones. But the safeties are untested. They're getting a test right now. Ivy again from Bulger. First down, West Virginia. 16 yards on the pickup.
Rich, this kid's unbelievable. He's putting the ball wherever he wants it. You ever played golf? You hit a ball, you couldn't have thrown it out in the fairway any better. That's how Bulger's throwing every single football here today.
Last year we saw West Virginia early, and all the newspaper clippings and the hype surrounded Amos Zaraway. But what impressed us last year early was Mark Bulger. 15 of 16. A little reverse to Brown. Antonio scoots out of bounds. He has the first down. Pernell Griffin ran him out of bounds.
What West Virginia's doing is just using speed. This is what the Miami teams did in the 80s when I was there. Speed kills. Antonio Brown was a 4.8 40. He's by far the fastest man on the field. They're just putting the ball in his hands and letting him make some plays with it.
He has 5 catches, 6 catches. He's almost at his 10-touch limit.
And we're not even in the first half.
Bulger still has it. Ivy broken up. Travis Mazik exacts some revenge.
He got Bulger back there. He got one. Rich, as we used to say, he's on scholarship too. He has to make some plays this game.
Now you got to give a DB a little love here.
Bulger faking 2 reverses, and I think the pressure, he couldn't get the ball out there far enough because Mazik was beat. He was beat bad. Ivy was behind him. I think that was just dropped.
Might have been. 2nd and 10. This one floats and it's intercepted. Picked off by Kevin Monroe. Down to the 3-yard line. Bulger finally misfires. And East Carolina's defense comes up with a big play.
Takes the tackle for West Virginia.
He's human. Not a good decision by Bulger here. You'll see the pressure come, and he just kind of steps back, trying to just get rid of the ball and not take that hit, and ends up floating it. That's what happens when you don't step in and drive your football. The ball ends up going high, and bad decisions there with Kevin Monroe making a good play on the football.
East Carolina offense not in a great spot. Big hit. Wilson survived it. And he's out to the 4-yard line. Let's head to the studios. Reese Davis.
Rich, a reminder coming up on the Buick Halftime Report. We'll go to Ann Arbor, where our college game day crew is keeping an eye on Michigan Notre Dame, plus their reaction on the first part of the day. And also, what could Penn State do for an encore after demolishing Arizona? We'll see how they did against Akron. And reigning national champions go to work on ESPN2 later tonight. We'll look at Tennessee as they get ready for Wyoming. Now back down to Charlotte, and we'll see you after.
Thanks, Reese. East Carolina on second down. Marcellus, or rather Keith Stokes, out to the 21-yard line. Gary Tompkins made the stop. A nice touch by quarterback David Garrard.
Garrard makes a big play here. Gets the ball to Stokes out in the flat. Had a little bit of pressure in his face. Stokes makes a nice move. The important thing about this play, with how good West Virginia's special teams are, if they're punting inside their own 5, West Virginia has a darn good shot of blocking the kick.
The officials have stopped the clock. And along the West Virginia sideline, Don Neyland paces.
Do they go with the 2-minute drill here?
Looks like it. Wilson with a nice cut, and he's loose again. He's over 100 yards and into West Virginia territory. Jerry Porter made the stop. 33 yards on the pickup.
Wilson shows great vision here. You see him take the counter fake, see the little cutback lane, uses the umpire as a little blocker there. Man, he's having a great day. I tell you what, if they don't stop him from running the football, West Virginia's in for a long day if they don't learn how to stop him.
117 yards. Garrard, man open. Marcellus Harris. First down, East Carolina at the West Virginia 20-yard line. 27 yards.
Rich, Marcellus Harris was wide open on that play. I think all the shifting and motion that East Carolina is doing on offense is throwing West Virginia. I don't think they realize what they're doing on defense.
It's a trademark of a Steve Logan team. Blitz coming. Garrard is hit. His receiver is tripped. Flag down. Nate Terry ran up the back of Arnie Powell. Whether the ball was catchable or not, we'll see. The flag is down nonetheless.
One thing Doug Martin said when we talked to him earlier in the week, when we get in the red zone, we're going to take our shots at the end zone. That's what he felt he had to do against his West Virginia defense to beat them. And it shows right there. They're in the 20 in the red zone. Wow, Logan's going nuts there. I don't know if you can call that off just because it's an uncatchable ball.
Here's a look, Gino.
Garrard's getting a little pressure up the middle. He throws it. I say it's pass interference.
I do as well.
I think you have to call that inside the 20.
Logan obviously still hot.
Rich, Chappell was tripped there. I think he had at least 3 or 4 more steps. He could have dove and caught that ball.
It stops the clock. The incompletion does. Wilson. Head over heels to the 11. It does not stop the clock. East Carolina has 2 timeouts left. Here's another look at that close call.
Here you see pressure up the middle. Garrard gets hit as he throws the football, leading Chappell right to the middle. I think he's got a couple extra steps. That's pass interference.
Garrard keeps it, has the first down, and more. The ball came out after he was down. First down, East Carolina. They stopped the clocks to move the chains.
Here's why this offense is so dangerous. You see an option coming right down the line of scrimmage. Garrard decides to keep it. He knows all he needs to get is 1 yard to get the first down. Ends up picking 4 or 5 up.
Let's go down to the sidelines. Don McPherson. Don.
There was no call on the penalty on the flag that went thrown because they said the ball was not catchable.
There was some question on as well as Garrard does not get in. Remember, Garrard was hit as he threw the ball, and it almost looked as if the ball was tipped.
Well, if the ball is tipped, then it is a no call.
Right, but the clarification by Don was uncatchable, and that's what sent Steve Logan into orbit. Timeout, East Carolina. They're on the doorstep with 16 seconds left in this first half.
East Carolina University's School of Art. Creating something new every day for 90 years.
The AXA East-West Showdown in Charlotte, North Carolina has provided us with a very entertaining first half of football. The East Carolina Pirates have a history of playing big-name opponents and beating them. And today, they've got West Virginia. The Pirates have driven to the West Virginia 1. 1 timeout left, 2nd and goal. Final seconds, first half. Our Buick halftime report with Reese Davis. Coming up, Garrard is hit, stays on his feet, he is in. Touchdown, East Carolina. The Pirates may go for 2. Doug Martin, the offensive coordinator for East Carolina, the man with the headset and the hat. Let's see what he calls on the 2-point conversion. Garrard dropped. Mark Thurston made the stop on David Garrard. 13 seconds left in this first half.
Rich, you really got to like the kind of game plan Martin's calling. He's mixing up the run. He's mixing in the option. Here you see Garrard, just a lot of determination to get in the end zone. There he's hit with a 1 yard loss, just powers in. That's what losing 280 to 230 will do for you.
Logan is still discussing the non-call on what he thought was a pass interference. It was ruled an uncatchable ball.
I tend to agree with him.
Regardless, David Garrard, as you said, 6'3", 235, and very, very strong. And a nice block from Jamie Wilson to get him in.
And he's running over Barry Green, their best defender on the play.
9 plays, 98 yards. And that shows some moxie, Gino, because they had the football near their own goal line, obviously with the length of drive, and 2.5 minutes left to go in the half. And rather than just try to run clock, East Carolina took it length of the field.
Well, I think it goes back to the first completion to Stokes. If they don't get that completion on 2nd and long, I believe then they're trying to run up the clock and maybe get rid of the ball on a punt. Well, with that completion, it allows them to start running a hurry-up offense. They rip off a couple big plays. you know, and they show what they can do. There's 7 points right there. I think Martin's calling a heck of a game right now.
The Buick halftime report coming up quickly. Nate Terry is met and dropped. Anthony Adams on the special teams.
Anthony Adams makes the tackle for ECU.
Garrard is just a sophomore, but East Carolina feels like he's a junior or a senior. He made 7 starts last year.
As a freshman, to get the experience that he did last year, quarterbacks only get better and better with time. Just as Coach Nealon said how much better of a coach he is now, Garrard will get better and better every year.
Bolger gives it to Avon Coburn. And he's outside. Time will expire. This first half of the AXA East-West Showdown was a good one. East Carolina on top of West Virginia. Is this another East Carolina upset? It's halftime. Bring on Reese Davis. Reese.
Well, Rich, the Pirates never back down from anybody. We've seen that over history, and they're on top of West Virginia. And, Coach, a razor-sharp performance early on from Mark Bulger, and East Carolina's been able to answer that with Jamie Wilson's running.
Well, Jamie Wilson has been the difference for East Carolina. We've watched West Virginia many games, and they always start slowly. Why? I'm not sure anyone knows, but they don't air it out. They don't go for big plays. They're very conservative. They've always played to their defense early in the game. It has them in trouble here because East Carolina is going for the big plays and has captured the lead.
And they've been able to run. West Virginia losing a lot on both sides of the lines of scrimmage. Still to come here on the Buick halftime report.
12-7, East Carolina on top of West Virginia. The AXA East-West Showdown back in Charlotte, North Carolina. Rich Waltz, Gino Torretta. Some say East Carolina is the best team you've never heard about. They have a program that hasn't made a lot of national headlines. They didn't play like that in the first half. They played like a very, very good football team.
They own the line of scrimmage on the offensive side of the ball. Wilson, the rusher, I mean, they're playing exceptionally well on the offensive side of the ball, and West Virginia not doing what they wanted to. Bulger is throwing the ball well, but they're not running the football, and until they run the football, they can't win this ball game.
David Garrard has had a very good first half, and certainly if you're an East Carolina fan, you have to be happy with a halftime lead. At halftime, I'm sure Don Nealon with an opportunity with his coordinators to try and regroup, to try and slow down this East Carolina offense. And the ball blows off the tee. First half stats, and here's why many East Carolina fans are pretty darn pleased. Look at the total offense and the rushing yards, Gino.
And lack thereof for West Virginia. Only 48 rushing yards on 12 attempts. They have to be able to own the line of scrimmage and establish some sort of running game to take some of the pressure off Bulger in the second half.
Kevin Miller the kick. And it's Terry at the 7. Nate Terry to the 32-yard line. 25 yards on the return. Some pictures from the first half illustrating that offense from East Carolina. You talked about Jamie Wilson. Big first half.
Huge first half by Wilson, all brought about by the offensive line going out and attacking the West Virginia defense.
Wilson had 128 yards. Garrard scored on that touchdown, and here's Mark Bulger. Very accurate, very effective. 15 of 18. That touchdown pass to Anthony Green, the lone scorer for West Virginia. Bulger pitches to Avon Coburn. Bayo Amadou made the stop. Down to the sidelines, Don McPherson. Don?
I had a chance to talk to both coaches at the half. Steve Logan said he's got to tell his guys to gear it up. He knows West Virginia's going to come out a lot more, and he wants to cut down the mistakes in the red zone. On the other side of the ball, Don Nealon said he's got some young guys who are confused by the motion of East Carolina. They have to cut down that confusion, and they have to run the football.
They tried to run the football on first down here, gained just a yard. Last year with Amos Zaraway, 154 yards per game on the ground. That was the average. And Coburn scrambles out to the 39-yard line. Gain of about 6. Kevin Monroe and Jeff Carr made the stop for East Carolina.
I think that running play right there was probably the most successful of the game. And they have to be able to establish the line of scrimmage. I can't tell you how important it is to establish the line of scrimmage, else we're going to end up seeing Bulger in the shotgun the rest of the second half.
Third down. West Virginia just 1 of 4 on third down opportunities in the first half. Bulger's in trouble. Hit and dropped. Norris McCleary. Second sack of the day for East Carolina.
Watch Bulger. He'll make a counter fake. Brown is responsible to block Carr, but Carr came down before Brown could come down and get at least a hand on him for Bulger to get outside. That's the reason for the sack there.
Fazzolari's kick. Marcellus Harris trying to tell his teammates to get out of the way. And East Carolina will have pretty good field position. 37 yards on the punt for Fazzolari, who averaged 48 yards a kick in the first half. Bulger on the headphones to Dan Simrell, the offensive coordinator. There's a look at Simrell, 5th year as the offensive coordinator, former quarterback and head coach at Toledo. Simrell on the right. Garrard. Wilson to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Kyle Cade made the stop.
It's going to be interesting to see, Rich, if Doug Martin, offensive coordinator for East Carolina, can keep West Virginia off balance like he did in the first half.
Doug Martin, offensive coordinator in his 4th year at East Carolina. And Garrard, not much of a gain. Greg Robinette, the first to get there. 3rd down and 10. East Carolina did not face that many 3rd down and longs in the first half.
And that's why they were successful. Anytime you don't want to be in a situation where you're 3rd and 5 or more, because the majority of the time you're not going to pick it up.
Garrard, quick throw, and it's incomplete. Marcellus Harris was open. 3 and out. And maybe Steve Dunlap, the defensive coordinator for West Virginia, has made the correct adjustments coming out of halftime.
He has, but the only thing I don't like is Martin came out the first half and was successful using shifts, using motions, keeping West Virginia off balance. That first drive, he didn't do any shifting, any motion. And when they're going to do that, Martin's going to start blitzing these guys.
It's blocked. Out of bounds. West Virginia ball. Casey Schiller.
There's 3 phases of a football game, Rich. There's offense, there's defense, and there's special teams. And special teams for West Virginia the last few years have been such a big part of why they've been successful. Here you see Schiller just comes through untouched, gets his hands up, takes the ball right off the kicker's foot. A great play by Schiller.
And the Mountaineers are in business. Remember, East Carolina had a fumble early in the first half. This not a turnover, but just as good as one. Coburn inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Run down by Bernard Williams.
Rich, look for inside the 10-yard line. Anytime you have a tight end like Beck, That's 6'6", 260. There's going to be a mismatch. Look for them. They could be throwing the ball to him in the next couple downs.
Coburn again. Hit hard. Jeff Carr, the first-team Conference USA pick.
Signed by Jeff Carr.
Third down.
It is third down.
And about 4. And the folks from Greenville try to make some noise in Charlotte. Coburn. Close, but not enough. Carr made the initial hit, and it's decision time for Don Nehlen. A huge momentum swing on the block punt. Potentially another one here if you go for it and don't make it. And Don Nehlen's going to take the 3 points.
The only thing I don't like about that series of downs, you get the ball inside the 20-yard line. Mark Bulger's your leader. The kid's thrown for over 6,000 yards and 48 touchdowns. Throw the football. At least give him 2 chances out of the 3 to score for you.
Taylor, accurate. And the senior from 22 yards out gives Don Nehlen's point 3 more points. 12-10, East Carolina up by a couple.
ESPN2's presentation of the AXA East-West Showdown is brought to you by 10-10-321. Now just 8 cents a minute for calls over 10 minutes. And by Everstart Battery. All the cold cranking power your truck, car, boat, or mower will ever need. Available at Walmart.
That's an angry-looking Panther on the outside of Erickson Stadium. We've got Mountaineers and Pirates inside. The AXA East-West Showdown. West Virginia with the field goal. I'm surrounded by quarterbacks here in Charlotte. Jay Taylor. Keith Stokes from his goal line. And Stokes to the outside. A good return. He's out to the 38-yard line. Perlo Bastine made the stop. And East Carolina right back on offense. They were 3 and out their first drive of this second half. David Garrard's over the middle, and it's incomplete. Barrett Green got a hand on it, intended for Rashawn Burns. This is obviously an NFL facility. The Panthers played here on Thursday night. The field markings have been adjusted a bit, but not completely. You see those markings outside the numbers? They seem innocuous. Those are very important for wide receivers. In the college game, that 50 should be where those 2 lines are. It may not seem like much, but Gino, it's big for wide receivers and defensive backs.
Makes a big difference when you're running slant routes and things like that. The receivers have to know exactly where to line up. That's why they put the markings on the field to show where the college numbers are.
Jamie Wilson out to the 40-yard line. All of a sudden, East Carolina cannot run the football. How come?
Well, West Virginia, Coach Dunlap did a good job of adjusting at halftime. And I think that also goes to show Martin's not mixing it up again just like he did in the first half with motion, shifting, and things like that. I think he has to go back to that to be successful.
Doug Martin, the offensive coordinator for East Carolina. Shotgun look for Garrard. Blitz coming for West Virginia. And Garrard's got a lot of room. First down and more. Look at him go. The big fella can pick him up and put him down. He's one of the larger quarterbacks you'll find.
The reason this opens up, it's man coverage underneath. No one's accounting for the quarterback. They don't think the quarterback's going to run with the football. He's going to throw with the football. That's why Garrard's able to pick up such yardage there. The rest of the defenders are man coverage, taking the receivers.
And he's got a mean straight arm as well. 42 yards, a career high for Garrard. Little option look. Jamie Wilson to the 15-yard line. Jerry Porter made the stop for West Virginia.
That's what being able to run with the football as a quarterback, why it makes it so dangerous. When you run man underneath coverage like West Virginia did on that play, no one's accounting for the quarterback. No one's covering him.
Again, it's Wilson to the 10-yard line. You think about elusive quarterbacks, fast ones. I mean, guys on a T. Martin, a Cade McNown,
Charlie Ward from Florida State, guys like that.
I think you can include Garrard in this category, but he's nothing like them. He's 6'3", 235, and that's on a good day, Gino.
Well, the one thing he does impose, once he breaks out, I don't think the defensive backs are in too much of a hurry to take him down, because he's running at him at 240 pounds. He's going to try to run over him and not run away from him.
They'll mark the football at the 10-yard line.
Please reset the clock. 7 minutes, 44 seconds.
There are stories of him being as heavy as 280, 285 when he first arrived on campus. He's very sensitive to that. He says, you know, it's kind of exaggerated. I probably walked in here at 265, maybe 270, which is still pretty darn heavy for a quarterback.
Rich, that's huge. You don't see many guys in the NFL, college, high school playing quarterback at over 240 pounds.
First down, East Carolina. Tennessee liked him so much, they wanted him to play tight end. Steve Logan said, you come to East Carolina, you'll play quarterback.
Well, with the athletic ability he has, I think he probably would have been a good tight end, but I think he wanted to play quarterback. That's why he came to East Carolina, and he's showing he can win football games with his arm as well as his feet.
Inside handoff, Wilson. He is in for the touchdown. Makes it 18-10. East Carolina will go for one. They have missed a two-point conversion. And the kick is good. Kevin Miller sends it through. Jamie Wilson is
Wilson's getting all the credit, but the offensive line for East Carolina is just owning the West Virginia defense.
East Carolina with a 19-10 lead over West Virginia. 7:21 left in this third quarter. Antonio Brown bringing the kickoff out to the 40-yard line, so it's good field position for West Virginia. Mark Bolger was 15 of 18 in the first half. Setting up a screen and throwing it away.
Let's take a look at the touchdown. Big block right here by Sean Burns. He caves in the defensive line. Wilson's going to get all the credit for this play, but that block and that touchdown run is all Burns' block right there.
Second down, West Virginia.
A look at Wilson, a career high in this ball game, 148 yards. And he finished that six-play, 62-yard drive. The big play, of course, third down and 8. Garrard with his 42-yard run. Bolger under pressure again, and a nice catch by Corey Ivy right at midfield. Just short of the first down. Back to the studios, Reese Davis.
Well, Rich, Louisville and Kentucky, you know there's some hard feelings leading up to this game. John L. Smith saying the Cats treated them like stepchildren, while Chris Redmond's being pretty mean to Kentucky, finding his old high school teammate Ivan Green again for the second time. 3 TD passes for Redmond. It's 28-10.
Reese, not a bad day for Conference USA with Louisville on top, and here East Carolina is beating West Virginia out of the Big East. Third down and short. Bulger to Becht, makes the catch, has the first down. Kevin Monroe made the stop. You like Anthony Becht. I think if you were out there, you'd probably throw about half your passes to Becht. You talked about him all week.
I think I'd throw to Becht and Antonio Brown. I'd throw to the fastest guy on the team and the biggest guy on the team, and that's Becht and Antonio Brown. 6'6", 265 pounds, runs a 4.65 40. Phenomenal.
Into East Carolina territory. Bulger the sidelines. Complete to Corey Ivy. Bulger went down and he may be hurt. As he released the ball, he was hit low.
To Corey Ivy. Kevin Monroe again makes the defensive play.
It's a scary looking hit, Rich. You never like to see that in college football or any football. When a guy takes a hit in the knee, he had his foot planted to throw the football. Hope it's not serious. Hope he can come back in the game.
Brad Lewis, the sophomore, loosening up. Another look similar to the hit that Trent Green of the Rams took the other night. Devon Claybrooks, it was not a late hit. A lot of concern in Morgantown and on the West Virginia sideline. We'll be back to Charlotte after this. Moments ago, Mark Bulger up and moving, and actually moving quite well, which is a great sign.
Big sign for West Virginia because they can't win if he doesn't play the rest of the game.
Bulger out right now, and Brad Lewis will take this snap on 2nd and 2. Bouncing outside, has the first down to the 32-yard line. It's a question you always ask an offensive coordinator, a head coach, during the week, and we asked it yesterday, Gino, to Dan Simrell and Steve Dunlap. What would happen if something happened to Mark Bulger? And before we got the question out of our mouths, they both said,
"Oh no."
And that's not taking anything away from Brad Lewis. It's just illustrating what Bulger means to this team. And he's back. Coburn cuts back to the 22-yard line. All of a sudden, West Virginia showing signs of moving the football on the ground. Down to the sidelines, Don McPherson.
Guys, the injury to Bulger was just a twist of the knee, a slight twist of the knee. He's fine. As you can see, he's back on the field, just shaking up just a little bit. Huge sigh of relief in Morgantown.
You got that right. So Brad Lewis takes one snap. Mark Bulger faced with 2nd and 1. Coburn to the 17-yard line. Burnell Griffin made the stop. We talked quarterbacks at the outset of the telecast. Mark Bulger and David Garrard. Here are the numbers so far.
Better passing stats for Bulger, but that doesn't tell the whole story. East Carolina is running the football a lot better than West Virginia. That's West Virginia's whole offense is Mark Bulger.
And remember, Garrard had that big 42-yard run on the last touchdown drive. Bulger, a swing pass. Brown to the 5, and he's knocked out of bounds by Forrest Foster.
Antonio Brown, probably one of the fastest people in the Big East Conference. I think him and Santana Moss both run about the same speed. Moss got him in the Big East track meet last year by a tenth of a second.
Coburn to the 1. Gino, the last time West Virginia was inside the red zone, you wanted Bulger to put it up. They ran it 3 times, did not get a first down, and settled for a field goal.
Well, that was the last time. This time, I think it may be a wake-up call for the offensive line. Bulger going down. These guys might start playing better and having a little bit more pride in their play.
0 starts amongst them. Coburn in, touchdown. And the offensive line provides the push.
May have been just what they needed for Bulger to go down. A little sense of reality that they can't really win a game without Bulger and without the offensive line playing well.
John Conti, Terry Dixon, Rick Gilliam, Tanner Russell, Matt Wilson. Don Nealon said these guys have been hanging around for 2 or 3 years, getting bigger in the weight room, learning, and now it's their time to perform. Jay Taylor adds the point, and it's a 2-point game.
Here we'll see on the touchdown run, West Virginia just takes charge, gets a little push. When you're down on the 2-yard line, all you need is a little bit of push by Dixon and Gilliam, the guards, and you're going to get in the end zone from the 2 with the kind of running attack they have with Coburn back there.
Tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern, the PGA Tour makes a stop in British Columbia, the inaugural PGA Air Canada Championship. Brandel Chambly defends his title. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. Jade Taylor and West Virginia back within 2. Over the head of Keith Stokes. Back to the studio, Reese Davis.
Rich in Ann Arbor, over on ABC, Michigan and Notre Dame. The Wolverines on the move, and they call on the A-train behind that veteran offensive line. First touchdown of the day for Michigan as Anthony Thomas goes in from the 3. Wolverines up by 2 in the 3rd quarter.
We're in the heart of NASCAR country. In fact, the Pepsi 500 is in Darlington on ESPN tomorrow. Many of these fans are headed there after this one. Erickson Stadium, home of the Panthers. East Carolina with a 2-point lead. Richard Alston in at quarterback, and he's out to the 28-yard line. They must have liked what they saw. Alston had his 1 series in the first half, moved the ball, and he's earned himself another series.
Logan said he was playing him. He was going to play Alston both the first and second half. He moved the ball in the first half. Look for him to move it again here. These plays are all scripted. Alston knows exactly where he's running coming into this football game.
Gerard is just a sophomore. Alston is a redshirt freshman. Close to the first down.
Quarterback Richard Alston again keeping the football for ECU.
Ryan Brady the stop for West Virginia.
Steve Dunlap, the defensive coordinator for West Virginia. You got to look for him to start pressure on a redshirt freshman. This kid doesn't have a lot of snaps under his belt, not a lot of experience, not really too sure what he's going to do under pressure under a blitz.
On the very right side, Dunlap with the hat on and the headsets. Alston in trouble. And they get the freshman. Greg Robinette. And Antoine Lake. There's a look at Robinette, the senior out of Hamden, West Virginia.
Good coverage by the West Virginia secondary. That's not necessarily a sack that you should give credit to the defensive line. The secondary had all the receivers covered there, and Alston goes down, doesn't throw the ball away. That's inexperience, Rich.
Receiver look. And here comes the blitz. Alston, oh my goodness. He almost threw it through his receiver. Keith Stokes made the catch. I don't think he could help but catch it. That may have stuck to him.
Here we'll see Alston show his athletic ability, moving around the pocket, almost looks like a quarterback draw. Then he just decides to pull up, sets his feet, delivers a strike. Nice completion.
I don't think he has an off-speed pitch. Blitz again. Complete again. It's Harris. Into West Virginia territory. Marcellus Harris. Boo Sensabaugh made the stop.
Boo Sensabaugh making the defensive play for West Virginia.
Harris is the go-to guy for the West Virginia defense. They're blitzing, their man coverage. One guy misses a tackle in blitz coverage. Just a nice little crossing route, one missed tackle in blitz, and he's off to the races.
Alston, what a fake. To the 30-yard line. 5 yards on the pickup.
Richard Alston with the football.
This guy's fun to watch.
You know, he's impressive, but it's more impressive that this relatively new offensive line for East Carolina can pick up all these schemes and block them. I mean, they're doing a great job of pass protection, and they're also doing a good job in the running game.
You have to be versatile to play in this offense, both up front, on the outside, and in the backfield. Leonard Henry off right tackle to the 27-yard line, short of the first down. It will bring up a rather interesting third down and short. They've made the trip from Greenville, and they like what they see. East Carolina on top of West Virginia. That would be a Pirate smile. East Carolina by 2. Down below, Don McPherson.
Guys, I'm standing here with the trophy that East Carolina is playing for. If they go to the AXA Liberty Bowl, it's the AXA Liberty Cup of Excellence. It goes to East Carolina. If they get to the Liberty Bowl, the winner of the Conference USA is pitted against the winner of the Mountain West. If they win this trophy, there's no way, guys, they're going to hoist this above their heads. This thing weighs 400 pounds, making it the biggest trophy in college football.
They've had to try to lift it before. They won the Liberty Bowl a few years back. Big third down. Richard Alston. Outside is Leonard Henry. The spot is all important. And it doesn't look like he has enough. Remember, Steve Logan has got a freshman kicker, Kevin Miller, who has hit both of his field goal attempts today from 37 and 42, and he'll bring the freshman out from 43 yards. And oh baby, the golfer put a nice draw on it and brought it right in.
Freshman kicker Miller, he's got a lot of confidence with every one of these kicks. He's going to gain a lot of confidence. confidence in Logan and him.
Steve Logan asked him, do you have the nerves to be a kicker? He said, I've stood over a lot of 5-foot putts in my time. 22-17.
ESPN2's presentation of the AXA East-West Showdown is brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors, the new 2000 Montero Sport. Wake up and drive. And by Ice House. Out here, our world is beer.
Erickson Stadium, Charlotte, North Carolina. East Carolina, which is in Greenville. On top, Kevin Miller, recruited to East Carolina as a golfer and a kicker. He's 3 under par today. Nate Terry to the 27-yard line. Our AXA storyline. Mark Bulger came out and set a school record with 13 consecutive completions. Avon Coburn has been able to get it going in the second half. Finally, West Virginia has run the football. But look at the numbers, Gino Torretta from East Carolina. Jamie Wilson has run the ball well. 265 yards on the ground.
Averaging 10.6 yards an attempt off the ground. Anytime you run the ball like that, you're going to win.
Avon Coburn to the 35-yard line. You know, Coburn hasn't had any big runs, but all of a sudden, Gino, he's over 70 yards. And he's becoming very effective.
I think it was a wake-up call when Bulger went down with that injury. The offensive line started picking it up, and if they start establishing the line of scrimmage as they have, look for them to have a successful fourth quarter.
Coburn is over 70 yards. Cooper Rigo on that carry spells him on this series. Antonio Brown in motion. Bulger, lots of time. Barnes is open. Barnes to the 41, or rather Pat Green with the catch. Bernard Williams made the stop.
Bulger may not have the mobility of Garrard, but you'll look right here. He escapes, gets out of the pocket, is able to turn his shoulders, set his feet, and has enough arm strength to complete that pass.
West Virginia on the move. Rigo to the line of scrimmage. Ivan Butler made the stop. There's the left knee of Mark Bulger. Looks like they put some sort of brace on it after that hit from Devon Claybrooks.
Probably just a precautionary measure, Rich. I mean, he twisted his knee a little bit. I think that'll give him a little bit more stability in the knee. But he showed 2 plays ago it hasn't hurt his mobility at all.
Rigo stopped again. Carlos Ochoa. Well, East Carolina is really deep in the linebacker spot. They have shuttled 7 or 8 guys in there today.
And heat conditioning may be a factor with the heat out there right now. It could be a factor. West Virginia's offensive linemen, they're young, inexperienced. They may be getting tired.
On 3rd and 10, 2 of 7 on 3rd down are the Mountaineers. Bulger, incomplete. Travis Mazik made the play on Anthony Becht.
When Bulger steps up to the line of scrimmage, he sees Becht one-on-one with the safety, throws it out there. Becht just can't come up with it. Hits him right in the fingertips. You got to catch that ball.
West Virginia will punt. Fazzolari at his 45. Mountaineers, nope, they could not control it. Richard Bryant, his momentum took him across the line and into the end zone. It's a touchback. It comes out to the 20. East Carolina on top of West Virginia. In Charlotte, we're back after this. East Carolina on top. Down below, Don McPherson is busy. What's up, Don?
I'm here with a couple of East Carolina grads, Tony and Bridget, and I'm going to turn the mic over to Tony.
Bridget, I finally found what I want in life, and I just want to ask you if you'll marry me. You can answer me now.
There you have it, guys. There's a lot of things going on in this ball game. There's a lot of love down here. There's a lot of love.
I guess that's a yes. Donnie Mack, much like Bob Eubanks. And there's Jamie Wilson over the left side, a 7-yard pickup. David Garrard is back in the ball game. That's another yes.
Donnie Mack would have been a long drive back home if she didn't say yes, huh?
That's right. Wilson, first down. Bruce Sensabaugh made the stop. So Steve Logan's rotation of quarterbacks has been a success. David Garrard has played well. How about Richard Alston, the redshirt freshman? He's led 2 drives, Gino, and they both have been scoring drives.
They've both been scoring drives. He's pretty much done it with his feet, not necessarily his arm, but he's athletic, and he's made a lot of plays out there.
Garrard. Sensabaugh with the interception. Boo Sensabaugh. Yards on the return.
Not a smart throw there by Garrard, Rich.
The senior out of Norton, Virginia, Boo Sensabaugh.
Garrard dropping back, seeing his wide receiver open, but the free safety, Boo Sensabaugh, just standing right in the middle of the field. That's what we like to call a hope throw. He was throwing that and hoping his receiver was going to come down with it.
Bulger going right to the end zone. Green. Incomplete. Kevin Monroe on the coverage.
West Virginia needed that interception. With 10 minutes on the clock in the 4th quarter, down by 5 points, they needed a turnover or something big to happen because they weren't stopping them at all. Here you see Logan talking to Garrard, basically saying, we don't need a big play right now. If they're not there, just throw it away.
Second down 10. The draw to the 18-yard line. That was Coburn. Rigo took the last series. Coburn is back in. Toma McMillan, the stop for East Carolina. Don Nealon looking at 3rd and 4. Coburn won't get it. Devon Claybrook.
Rich, you're in the red zone, 3rd and 4. You have a quarterback that's supposedly a Heisman Trophy candidate, thrown for over 6,000 yards. You have to put some pressure on him, and he's got to make the plays for you. Your running game hasn't been there all day. Let Bulger throw the ball. Throw it to Beck for 4 yards.
I would expect Mr. Bulger will be throwing this one. 4th down and 3. Brown Brown, the catch, and the first down. He squirts inside the 5.
That plays like legalized stealing. Throwing to Antonio Brown that fast. That is just really just a running play. Just a little pitch pass to the outside. He runs a little loop route. Brown comes in motion. Bulger just takes one step and just gets him the ball as fast as he can. Lets Brown make the first down, make a play with the ball.
Colburn is swallowed up by Amadou.
That's why the center's block on a counter is so important. Bayou Amadou blows right by the center's block. Gets in the backfield too quick.
It's a big loss on this part of the field. Second down 15. Call it 16. Bulger to the end zone. Ivy. He got it. Touchdown.
Nice throw.
Nice catch.
Probably even a better catch.
West Virginia will go for 2. And the Mountaineers have the lead. But they've got to hurry to get that 2-point team on the field. Bulger again going up. This one is incomplete. Forrest Foster on the coverage of Jerry Porter. Mark Bulger, and West Virginia has the lead. Corey Ivy going up and coming down with 6.
Bulger will see a 2 deep right here. Pat Green runs a hitch route. Ivy runs a corner on the inside. He puts it to the outside. Good quarterbacks need great receivers, and that was a great catch right there, folks.
John Nealon told us yesterday if it was 3rd down and 10 or if they needed a big play, Mark Bulger will find Corey Ivy.
And he has. He hasn't been much of a factor today, but enough of a factor with a few big catches in the end zone.
The touchdown changes things for East Carolina. They've been ahead of this ball game for a long time.
Let's see how a young, immature team reacts to now they're down by 1 all of a sudden.
All the way to the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20. Thursday night on ESPN, the Washington Huskies open their season. Rick Neuheisel's debut, and BYU, Lavelle Edwards and Kevin Federick. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern. We'll visit the brand new Mountain West concert. College Game Night starts it, presented by Gateway. Thursday night on ESPN. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network. East Carolina now. Not just trying to run the clock, forced to move the football and get some points. Kyle Caden, the sophomore out of Fremont, Ohio, made the stop. They've had a few linebackers come out of that state. Little throw, And Arnie Powell is contained. Caden again made the stop. Different feeling along that sideline.
We're finally up by 1. Bolger's feeling a little bit better. Looks like he might have a slight gimp from that twisted knee. Pressure's all back on Coach Logan right now to go down and score.
Gerard's in trouble and dropped. Ryan Brady. Chris Edmonds there as well. Andrew Bays. The Mountaineers have blocked 1. An East Carolina roll to the West Virginia 33-yard line. The Mountaineers out of the Big West, or rather the Big East, have come back, and they lead this football game. The AXA East-West showdown. West leads East now. West Virginia on top of East Carolina.
Let's go!
The Mountaineer has been a much happier guy in the second half.
Let's go!
First and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. Coburn to the 47, or rather the 43-yard line, gain of 7. Kevin Monroe made the stop.
Second down, West Virginia.
The clock becoming a factor now. Coburn now with 81 yards. They'll get it again. Short of the first down. Jeff Carr made the stop. About 90 minutes from here, rather 90 miles from here. Darlington Raceway, the Winston Cup Happy Hour coming up. Immediately following this ball game. Darlington, South Carolina. Third down, 1. Coburn, I don't think he has it. Bernard Williams with the initial hit for East Carolina. And they'll bring the chains over. We'll get a measurement.
Disappointing for West Virginia not to get a first down there. On 3rd and 1, the offensive line, they had to be able to establish themselves and get that first down, because if they get that first down, they run another couple minutes off the clock. East Carolina's got to go in a hurry up offense, a 2-minute mode, to come back down and score and try to beat them.
Just enough. A generous spot in front of the East Carolina bench. Gerard and his head coach, Steve Logan, hoping to get the ball back.
I think he's going to put Austin in this 2-minute offense at the end of the game.
Don't think so. Jeff Carr makes the stop.
West Virginia still has to throw the ball here. It's not necessary that they need a big play because they already have the lead, but they've been winning this ball game throwing the football. Just going to possession type passing game right here. Not necessarily try to, you know, they're not getting anything running the football.
Dan Simrell with his hands behind his head, offensive coordinator for West Virginia. Bulger in trouble, and he's dropped. Carr got him. Jeff Carr. Third sack of the day for East Carolina.
Bulger has to get rid of the ball there, Rich. Carr's coming off the corner. The running back has to pick one of the men up. You can't block two guys. Bulger just goes down hard. You got to just throw the ball away there.
Under 3 minutes left in the game. 3rd and 19. Deflected it, drops. Carlos Osageda couldn't hold it. Importantly, it stops the clock.
Stops the clock, and I think it all goes back down to first down when they didn't get any yards rushing the football. Maybe take a throw. Throw it to Beck. I've been telling you to throw it to Beck all game, Rich. Throw it to Beck. Give him 5 yards.
Don Nealon trying to get this punt off before the play clock expired. Stokes at his 17. And Stokes still on his feet. Hey, he's still loose. How about that? Mark Fazzolari, the punter, had to make the stop on the junior Keith Stokes.
Here's just Stokes wanting it more. Breaks one tackle there, 2, 3 there. Defender trying to strip the ball instead of just bringing him down. He breaks 4 or 5 tackles, and that was because they were going for the strip. Just bring the guy down, get him down.
Harris in motion. Garrard. Swing pass. Wilson stops the clock right at midfield.
Rich, here's where that failed 2-point conversion may come in. If Bulger completes that pass, they're up by 3, and a field goal only ties them. Now they're only up by 1, and a field goal beats them. So all East Carolina has to do is get in field goal position here.
Remember, Steve Logan's team has missed a 2-point conversion today as well. Gutsy call to the 41-yard line. It's a first down. Jamie Wilson. Clock will stop as they move the chains. Lou Sensabaugh made the stop.
Now West Virginia's got to start considering calling timeout and stopping the clock and giving their offense some time, because East Carolina is moving the football. And if they don't have any timeouts, the time left on the clock, Bulger can't take them down and score.
A full complement of timeouts for both sides, 3 apiece. Garrard on the option. Garrard! David Garrard! He's to the 12!
David Garrard has got his game on right here. Fakes the pitch. The defender goes for it, bites, breaks 2 tackles. I tell you what, Rich, for 240 pounds, this kid moves very, very well.
94 yards on the ground for Garrard. Wilson wrapped up. Clock rolls. East Carolina has 3 timeouts. Wilson has 173 yards on the ground.
Tackled by Antoine Lake.
Antoine Lake made the stop.
If I'm East Carolina here, all I'm thinking about doing is moving the ball in the middle of the field, giving Miller a chip shot to win the football game in the last few seconds.
If you're West Virginia, do you think about burning timeouts?
I definitely do. I definitely do. They haven't been able to stop with their defense. Maybe a timeout will.
Wilson. He is into the end zone. No! They'll mark him at the 1. But the clock stops to move the chains. Jamie Wilson got to the 1-foot line.
The danger of the option. Garrard is running it. He's being able to throw it. He's having a heck of a ball game right here.
West Virginia does call a timeout. Don Nehlen trying to regroup. We will as well. Steve Logan's Pirates are on the doorstep. We're back to Charlotte after this. West Virginia has a 1-point lead. And they're hanging on to it by a thread. David Garrard will keep it. He's in. Touchdown, East Carolina. The Pirates will go for 2.
The reason they're going for 2, Rich, if they get this, a touchdown will only tie them and send the game into overtime.
And a field goal will not beat them at this point.
Or tie.
Steve Logan knows a thing or two about going for 2 in this rivalry. The 2-point conversion. Garrard, end zone. 2 points. Rashawn Burns, the tight end. It's a 7-point lead now. Erickson Stadium, 50,000 on hand. About 30,000 East Carolina supporters.
Garrard, with pressure in his face, hits Burns. We've been looking for him all day. Actually, Doug Martin, offensive coordinator, loves this kid. Runs a 4.6 40. There you see Logan. Garrard, Edmonds coming free. Takes a good player to be able to stand in there when you got pressure like that and deliver a strike.
Six plays, 57 yards. David Garrard engineering and finishing the drive. The scramble by Garrard that brought it to the 15. The big play on the drive.
West Virginia's defense has given up entirely too many big plays for them to be even in this ball game. They've been fortunate that East Carolina has turned the ball over a few times in the red zone, that they're still in this ball game.
Antonio Brown drops it, picks it up, and goes down the 17-yard line. East Carolina has come close to upsetting West Virginia on numerous occasions. In 11 previous meetings, they've won just once. Speaking of 2-point conversions, go back to 97. Late in the ball game, in Morgantown, East Carolina scores to bring it within 1. Seconds remain. East Carolina goes for 2, Gino. and doesn't get it and loses the ball game. And Steve Logan took some heat for not playing for an overtime.
Well, it's different going for 2 for the win and going for 2 to be up by 7. I think I would have just kicked the extra point, take my chances in overtime in that ball game.
Bulger now with a minute left to work with. Deflected and incomplete. Devon Claybrooks got a hand on it. Immediately following this ball game, the Winston Cup Happy Hour coming up on ESPN. This is going to turn into an East Carolina happy hour if this score holds. Bulger with time, almost intercepted, incomplete. Jerome Stewart along with John Williamson on the coverage.
This is where not having a good offensive line in a 2-minute drill. Look at the mismatch there. Rushing yards by East Carolina to West Virginia.
Mark Bulger was 15 of 18 in the first half. He is 5 of 11 in the second half. On third down. Intercepted. Williamson, the freshman. And Steve Logan is going to get his upset this time.
It's a big win for East Carolina. Not only this ball game and the start of a good 1999 season, but recruiting. Both of these schools recruit Charlotte heavily. And a win like this, it could turn the table for their recruiting in their program.
Bulger, who completed his first 13 passes, has thrown an interception. His second of the ball game.
Rich, I think it all comes down to the West Virginia offensive line not being able to establish the line of scrimmage. When they're getting pressured in his face, you can't expect any quarterback, whether it's Bulger or any other top guy in the country, to be able to sit in the pocket and deliver strikes when you got people in your face every play.
West Virginia has 2 timeouts left. Gerard is taking no chances. And Don Nealon will not stop the clock. We told you earlier, East Carolina has a knack for knocking off a big-name opponent. They did it in '96, in '95, and in the Liberty Bowl twice. A huge, huge win for a program you should know more about. East Carolina out of Conference USA. Gerard with the win in his back pocket, and Steve Logan will head back to Greenville. For Don McPherson and Gino Torretta, I'm Rich Waltz. East Carolina wins it. Stick around. The Winston Cup Happy Hour is coming up.
This has been a presentation of ESPN.